Have you ever felt like you're playing a different game than everyone else? Like there's an invisible layer to reality that only you seem to notice. You walk into a room, and while others are simply existing, your mind is already mapping the subtle power dynamics, dissecting the unspoken anxieties, or tracing the faint echoes of past conversations in the air. You observe not just what is said, but what isn't. You don't just see the surface, you feel the undercurrents. It's an almost involuntary process, a constant, low hum of analysis beneath everything else. Here's the thing nobody talks about. This isn't a quirk or a flaw or even just a personality trait. For some, it's a distinct operating system of the mind. It's what we might call the deep thought syndrome, not a disorder, but a profound, inherent tendency to process information on a fundamentally different level. It's why some minds work differently, seeing patterns, connections, and implications that others entirely miss. And what you're about to understand today changes completely the way you see this internal world, transforming what might feel like a burden into a powerful, hidden advantage. This doesn't mean you're strange. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. For too long, society has subtly, or not so subtly, valued speed over depth, action over contemplation, and extroversion over introspection. If your mind tends to linger, to dissect, to feel, you might have been led to believe you're overthinking, too sensitive, or just slow to adapt. But this is where it gets interesting. The very act of deep processing, of feeling the weight of implications, of seeing the world through a high-definition lens, isn't a deviation from the norm. It is a norm for a significant portion of the population. It signifies a genuine, neurological difference in how your brain engages with reality, a difference that shapes everything from your relationships to your sense of purpose. And neuroscience explains why. Consider the concept of sensory processing sensitivity, often associated with highly sensitive persons, HSPs. Research, pioneered by Dr. Elaine Aron and others, suggests that individuals with high SPS have nervous systems that process stimuli more deeply and thoroughly. This isn't just about being easily startled by loud noises. It's about processing all information, emotional nuances, environmental details, social cues with greater depth and for longer durations. Your brain isn't just registering data. It's building intricate webs of meaning, constantly cross-referencing new information with vast internal libraries of past experiences and projected possibilities. For minds wired this way, the external world isn't just observed. It's absorbed, filtered, and intensely analyzed. It's why a casual comment can echo in your mind for days, revealing layers of meaning others never even considered. If you find yourself nodding along, recognizing this intricate internal landscape, realizing you're one of those who experiences the world in such profound detail, perhaps this channel is for you. We delve into the unique workings of minds that perceive beyond the obvious, seeking to understand and empower those who navigate life with an exceptional depth of thought. Join a community that values introspection and recognizes the quiet strength in seeing more. But this deep processing isn't just about sensory input. It extends to the very mechanisms of our neurological reward systems. This sounds contradictory, but the relentless pursuit of understanding, the almost compulsive need to connect disparate pieces of information, can become its own form of dopamine-driven behavior. Your brain, in its quest for cognitive closure and comprehensive meaning, might be subtly reinforcing these deep dives. Each time you uncover a hidden truth, each time a complex puzzle piece clicks into place in your mind, there's a microsurge of satisfaction. This isn't the immediate external validation often sought by those driven by superficial achievements, but an intrinsic internal reward. It's the brain's way of saying, "Good job, you understood something deeply." This neurological loop can make the deep thought syndrome a powerful, almost inescapable force. Your mind isn't just choosing to think deeply. It's often compelled to, reinforced by its own internal reward structure, creating an unconscious mechanism that keeps you always searching beneath the surface. This is more serious than it seems because it means your deep thinking isn't just a habit, it's a deeply ingrained neural pathway. This leads us to a crucial distinction between two fundamental psychological profiles. On one side, we have what we might call the action-oriented processor. This individual thrives on external engagement, quick decisions, and tangible outcomes. Their brain is optimized for efficiency, often prioritizing immediate solutions and external validation. They might see depth as a distraction, overthinking as a weakness. For them, meaning is often found in doing, in visible achievements, in the rapid accumulation of experiences. Then, there's the reflection-oriented processor, people like you likely. Your mind is optimized for depth, for understanding the underlying mechanics of situations, for internal coherence. You might find immense satisfaction not in the act itself, but in the contemplation before, during, and after. For you, meaning is often found in comprehension, in the intricate tapestry of thought, in the quiet synthesis of diverse ideas. Neither profile is inherently superior. Both are vital for a functioning society. But it's essential to recognize that your internal world operates on a different frequency, finding its resonance in the intricate vibrations of deep thought. This difference in processing fundamentally shapes how we allocate empathy and form our identities. Most people tend to extend empathy based on easily discernible emotional cues or shared experiences. They react to the immediate, visible suffering or joy. But for those with the deep thought syndrome, empathy often extends to the unspoken, the potential, the historical context, and the systemic implications. You don't just feel for the person. You feel for the forces that shape them, the unseen burdens they carry, the future consequences of their present state. This profound empathy can be exhausting, yet it also forms a core part of your identity. Your self-esteem isn't often built on external accolades or superficial popularity, but on the integrity of your internal understanding, the alignment of your actions with your deeply held values, and the coherence of your worldview. The constant validation you seek is internal, a quiet affirmation that you've understood something truly, deeply. You value authenticity and truth, and your sense of self is inextricably linked to your capacity for genuine insight, not mere performance. But where do these profound differences originate? They aren't random. Many of these psychological preferences have invisible stories, roots buried deep in our past experiences. Perhaps you were a child who felt misunderstood, whose questions were too complex, whose observations were too keen for the adults around you. Maybe you experienced rejection or exclusion not because of what you did, but because of how you perceived and felt the world. This can lead to the development of hyperawareness, not as a pathology, but as an adaptation. Your mind learned to pay exquisite attention to nuances, to read between the lines, to anticipate consequences, as a way to navigate a world that often felt overwhelming or unintuitive. Your heightened sensitivity became a sophisticated defense mechanism, a finely tuned radar for navigating social landscapes, or an internal compass for finding your own true north when external guidance felt inadequate. You learned to rely on your internal compass because the external one often pointed in directions that didn't resonate with your deep understanding of reality. This divergence in how our minds function naturally extends to how we seek and find meaning and a sense of purpose in life. Most people often find meaning through external narratives, career progression, social status, family milestones, or participation in large collective endeavors. Their path to significance is often a visible, linear progression, a story of outward achievement and public recognition. They are participants, actively shaping the external world. But for minds wired for deep thought, meaning is often found in the act of creation, in the synthesis of ideas, in the profound connection to an inner landscape, or in the quiet understanding of universal truths. You might be more of a narrative creator than a narrative participant. Your sense of significance stems from building internal frameworks, from understanding the interconnectedness of things, from contributing wisdom rather than just action. Neither approach is superior. One is not more valid than the other. They are simply different axes of existence, different ways of answering the fundamental question, why am I here? Your answer likely lies in the depths, in the intricate patterns your mind tirelessly uncovers. And it's in these depths that you often find your true state of flow, presence, and consciousness. The concept of flow, popularized by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, describes a state of complete absorption in an activity. Most people describe finding flow in dynamic, often externally focused activities, sports, intense work projects, social interaction. They are completely present in the doing. But for individuals with the deep thought syndrome, flow often manifests differently. It's not always in the rush of external activity, but in the quiet intensity of deep contemplation, the intricate dance of problem solving, the sustained focus on a complex idea, or the immersive experience of artistic creation. Your flow state might be characterized by a profound sense of inner stillness, even as your mind is intensely active. You are often most present when you are deeply engaged with your internal world, when the external chatter fades, and you are fully immersed in the process of understanding, creating, or reflecting. You live more on your own axis, driven by internal curiosity and the pursuit of coherence, than by the external demands of the world. So let me be clear. You are not broken. You are not losing anything by not operating on the same frequency as the majority. In fact, what you possess is a profound, silent advantage. Your deep thought syndrome isn't a deficit. It's a finely tuned instrument for perceiving the world with unparalleled richness and depth. It's the capacity to see the unseen, to understand the unsaid, to connect the disconnected. It allows you to navigate life with an internal compass that points towards truth and meaning, even when the external world seems chaotic and superficial. You are not merely thinking deeply. You are experiencing deeply, living profoundly, and perceiving authentically. This capacity, once understood, isn't just a part of who you are. It's your superpower. Embrace the quiet power of your observer mind. Understand that your deep thought isn't a burden, but a gateway to a richer, more meaningful existence. Keep seeking these deeper truths. If this resonates with the quiet hum inside your own mind, consider subscribing. Join us as we continue to explore the profound landscapes of human psychology, validating the unique brilliance of minds like yours. The world desperately needs minds that don't just skim the surface, but dive deep into the currents beneath. It needs those who can perceive the intricate patterns, anticipate the subtle shifts, and articulate the unspoken truths that others miss. Your capacity for deep thought isn't just for your own internal enrichment. It's a vital resource for navigating complex challenges, fostering genuine connection, and envisioning a future built on understanding rather than superficiality. So the next time you feel that familiar pull to contemplate, to analyze, to feel the weight of what truly is, remember this. You are not overthinking. You are simply engaging with reality on its most profound level, offering a perspective that is increasingly rare and undeniably precious. This journey of deep perception is not a solitary one, but a shared exploration into the very essence of human experience. Welcome home. We'll continue this exploration together, unlocking more of these hidden strengths, understanding how to harness them in practical ways, and building a world that truly values the profound insights only minds like yours can offer. Next, we'll dive into actionable strategies for thriving with deep thought syndrome, moving beyond mere recognition to active empowerment. We'll explore how to cultivate environments that support your unique processing style, how to manage the intensity of your perceptions without suppressing them, and how to translate your profound insights into tangible contributions. This isn't about adapting to a world designed for surface-level engagement. It's about shaping your world and influencing the larger one from a place of authentic depth. We'll discuss techniques for focused introspection, for channeling intense empathy constructively, and for communicating your complex understanding in ways that resonate with others, bridging the gap between your rich internal world and the external reality. This journey isn't just about understanding yourself. It's about understanding how to live powerfully and meaningfully with this extraordinary gift, transforming what might have once felt like isolation into a profound sense of connection and purpose. So let's begin to unpack these strategies, starting with the very foundation, managing the overwhelming intensity of your perceptions. Because while your deep processing is a superpower, unchecked, it can also lead to burnout and a feeling of constant overstimulation. The key here is not to suppress your sensitivity, but to regulate it. Think of your nervous system as a sophisticated antenna, constantly picking up signals. If that antenna is always at maximum gain, every whisper becomes a shout, every subtle vibration a tremor. You need a dial. And one of the most effective ways to find that dial is through intentional periods of cognitive decompression. This isn't about avoiding thought. It's about giving your intricate processing system dedicated time to sort, integrate, and rest. For many, this looks like scheduling deliberate periods of quiet. This could be as simple as 15 minutes of undisturbed silence each day, a walk in nature without any devices, or engaging in a repetitive, low-stimulus activity like gardening or knitting. The goal is to reduce the constant influx of new data, allowing your brain's deeper processing centers to consolidate the vast internal libraries we spoke of earlier, rather than continuously adding new volumes. This also helps to gently disengage from the dopamine-driven behavior of constant cognitive closure, giving your mind a chance to simply be without the pressure to understand everything immediately. These moments are vital for preventing the mental fatigue that often accompanies such profound engagement with reality. Next, we address the challenge of cultivating environments that truly support your unique processing style. Much of the world isn't designed for deep thinkers. It often rewards speed and superficiality. To thrive, you must actively design your personal and professional spaces to honor your need for depth and reflection. This means being intentional about who you spend your time with, seeking out individuals and communities who value meaningful conversation over small talk, and who appreciate your capacity for insight rather than being intimidated by it. In your physical environment, this might mean creating a dedicated thinking space, a quiet corner free from distractions, where you can delve into complex ideas without interruption. It also involves setting clear boundaries around information consumption, consciously choosing to limit exposure to overwhelming news cycles or superficial social media feeds that provide endless data without substance. Remember, your mind absorbs everything deeply, so be fiercely protective of what you allow in. This leads directly to translating your profound insights into tangible contributions. It's one thing to understand the world deeply. It's another to effectively communicate that understanding to those who operate on a different frequency. Deep thinkers often struggle with simplifying complex ideas without feeling like they're losing the essential nuances. The strategy here is to develop what we call layered communication. Start with the core insight, the distilled essence of your understanding, and present it clearly and concisely. Then, be prepared to offer the supporting layers, the intricate patterns, the historical context, the systemic implications, as needed, when the audience is ready to receive them. This bridges the gap between your rich internal world and external reality, allowing you to share your wisdom without overwhelming others or feeling unheard. Practice articulating your thoughts in different ways, learning to speak the language of both depth and directness. Your value isn't just in seeing more, but in helping others to see more too.